In the previous episode, Garuda reached the gates of heaven in search of Amrita, the nectar of immortality. The armies of God rose against him, but one by one their defense fell. At last, Garuda stood before the final barrier, a blazing wall of celestial fire that stretched across heavens. His strength had carried him this far, but now strength alone would not be enough. The Amrita lay beyond the flames, and Garuda was ready to face the impossible. The blazing barrier roared like the end of time. Its flames stretched across the heavens, driven by fierce celestial winds, burning so brilliantly that even the sun himself would scarcely endure their radiance. No ordinary being could ever pass. Garuda studied the wall in silence. His eyes missed nothing. He understood that strength alone would never overcome this divine defense. Victory would require wisdom. Drawing upon his immeasurable power, Garuda transformed himself. From his radiant form emerged countless mouths, 90 times 90 in number. The heavens trembled as the mighty bird prepared for an unimaginable feat. With incredible speed, Garuda descended across the worlds. He drank the waters of countless rivers, lakes, and sacred streams until each of his many mouths overflowed with life giving water. Then he soared back towards the heaven. Garuda released the gathered waters upon the celestial flames. The torrents crashed against the blazing barrier. Slowly, the impossible fire yielded. The path toward Amrita lay open. Beyond the extinguished flames stood the innermost sanctuary of the gods. Within its golden halls rested the treasure sought by every celestial being, the sacred Amrita. Guarding the entrance spun a gigantic wheel, its razor sharp edges revolved endlessly with terrifying speed, shining like the blazing sun. Anyone who approached carelessly would be destroyed in an instant. Garuda smiled calmly. Once again he altered his form. His immense body became smaller and smaller until he was no longer than the smallest opening between the spinning spokes. Watching the perfect moment, Garuda moved. With flawless precision, he slipped between the whirling blades. The deadly wheel never touched him. Within the chamber coiled two enormous serpents. Their eyes blazed like living fire, their tongues flashed like lightning, and their venomous gaze alone could destroy any intruder. Garuda struck first. With the beat of his mighty wings, he hurled clouds of dust into the eyes of the guardian serpents. Blinded, they could no longer see their enemy. Before the serpent could recover, Garuda moved with unmatched speed. When the dust finally settled, the guardians lay defeated. The final defense of the gods had fallen. At the center of the sanctum rested the golden kalasha containing the Amrita. Its divine radiance illuminated every corner of the celestial chamber. The long journey had reached its goal. Garuda gently lifted the sacred vessel. He had crossed impossible trials. He had defeated the defense of heaven itself, yet not a single drop touched his lips. Garuda had never sought immortality for himself. Every hardship, every battle, every sacrifice had been for one purpose alone: to free his mother from slavery. As Garuda ascended through the heavens carrying the Amrita, the sky filled with a divine radiance unlike anything he had ever seen. Before him stood Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. Lord Vishnu looked upon Garuda with deep satisfaction. You possess the nectar of immortality, and yet your heart never desired it for yourself. Such self control is greater than strength. Pleased by Garuda's unwavering devotion and restraint, Lord Vishnu offered him a boon. The mighty bird bowed with reverence before Lord Vishnu. Garuda spoke without hesitation. My lord, may I remain immortal without drinking the Amrita, and may I forever have the honor of dwelling above you upon your divine banner. Lord Vishnu smiled. So be it. From this day onward, you shall be immortal, untouched by disease and death, and you shall forever adorn my banner. Garuda then folded his wings and spoke once more. My lord, you have blessed me. Allow me, in return, to grant you a boon. Lord Vishnu answered gently, "Become my carrier." Garuda bowed deeply. "With great joy, my lord." From that moment onward, the mighty king of birds became the eternal vehicle of Lord Vishnu. Bearing the sacred Amrita and blessed by Lord Vishnu himself, as Garuda continued his flight through the heavens carrying the Amrita, another radiant figure appeared before him. It was Indra, Lord of Devas, wielding the mighty Vajra. Without hesitation, Indra hurled the celestial thunderbolt. The divine weapon blazed across the heavens with irresistible force and struck Garuda. Garuda remained completely unharmed. Yet, out of reverence for Rishi Didichi, from whose sacred bones the Vajra had been fashioned, he gently released a single golden feather. Indra looked upon Garuda with wonder. Never before had anyone endured the power of Vajra without injury. He realized the mighty bird possessed strength unlike any other. Setting aside hostility, Indra approached Garuda peacefully. "O mighty one," he asked, "why do you seek Amrita of the gods?" Garuda answered without pride, "I desire neither immortality nor dominion. I carry the Amrita only to free my mother from the bondage forced upon her." Hearing Garuda's words, Indra's suspicion faded. He saw before him not a thief seeking power, but a devoted son fulfilling a sacred promise. Garuda continued, "I shall place the Amrita before the Nagas as I promised, but before they drink it, you may reclaim it." Indra agreed. In this way, Garuda would fulfill his vow to his mother, while the nectar of immortality would remain with the gods. Pleased by Garuda's wisdom and honesty, Indra offered him a boon. Garuda replied, "May the serpent race forever become my natural food." Indra smiled. "So be it. From this day onward, the serpent shall be your rightful prey." Bearing the sacred Kalasha, Garuda descended to the realm of the Nagas. The serpents gathered eagerly, their eyes fixed upon the long awaited Amrita. Garuda carefully placed the golden vessel upon a bed of sacred Kusha grass. The divine nectar rested silently before the assembled serpents. Garuda addressed the Nagas. "The Amrita is yours, but first perform your ablutions and sacred rites, for such a divine gift must be approached in purity." The Nagas accepted his words. As promised, they declared Vinata released from her bondage. At last, Garuda's mother was free. Leaving the Amrita upon the Kusha grass, the serpents departed together to perform their sacred ablutions before drinking the nectar. The moment the serpents disappeared, Indra descended swiftly from the heavens. He lifted the golden Kalasha and returned with it to Swarga. The serpents returned in joyful anticipation, but the sacred vessel had vanished. Only the Kusha grass remained. Believing that drops of divine nectar still rested upon the blades, the serpents eagerly began to lick the sacred grass. The sharp edges of the Kusha grass split their tongues into two. From that day onward, all serpents bore forked tongues. Having touched the Amrita itself, the Kusha grass became forever sacred. From then onward, it would hold a place of honor in Vedic rituals and sacred ceremonies. Garuda turned towards his mother. The long journey, the impossible trials, and every sacrifice had fulfilled their purpose. Vinata was finally free, blessed by Lord Vishnu, honored by Indra, and victorious through courage, wisdom, and devotion. Garuda assumed his eternal place as the divine carrier of Lord Vishnu. Thus ended Garuda's quest for Amrita, a story not of conquest for personal glory, but of unwavering devotion, selfless sacrifice, and a son's unbreakable promise to his mother. Please like this video, subscribe to the Tales of Sanatana, and press the bell icon so you never miss a new story from our ancient scriptures.